Welcome back into Eye on Agriculture. I'm Britton Rucker. Take a look at this. A rodeo bull hopped a fence surrounding an Oregon arena, injuring at least 3 people before wranglers caught up with it. 2 of the victims were transported to the local hospital. AGCO Heston announces plans to move some of its production to Mexico next year. In a statement, the company said it's in an effort to streamline operations. Heston will continue to manufacture products like its large square balers and combines. Production of smaller balers and other machines will move to Mexico. AGCO says the move is not expected to require layoffs in Heston. And check this out, a 2-year-old Labrador Retriever is doing a job only a handful of dogs can do in the state of California. Birdie's job is to sniff out packages shipped to the area, not looking for treats, but pests that could pose a threat to local agriculture. Ashley Sharp introduces us to Birdie and his handler.
What did you find, Bird?
A day on the job of a detector dog looks like this. Search, sniff, and alert.
This one. Let's see.
Birdie's knows how to hunt down the seemingly ordinary.
She's looking for fruits, vegetables, seeds, bulbs, live animals, live fish, cut flowers, plants.
Birdie's handler, Chris Tyler, keeps this expert tracker on track.
She knows to differentiate that stuff from Grandma's cookie she sent you for graduation.
The pup pokes through package after package at post office and FedEx processing centers.
And inside this box are tomatoes.
And when she's right on target,
an inspector will then take the box, will open that box, and make sure that what we found doesn't contain a disease, a pest, or a weed, or anything that could be harmful if it was allowed to get out.
Only 11 counties in California have these USDA-trained detector dogs. Birdie is Yolo County's first.
We've found Caribbean fruit fly shipped from Florida on numerous occasions, and this is something we don't want here.
She's the first line of defense, keeping out any non-native threat that could wreak havoc on California crops.
So we could be talking about billions of dollars lost in a fight with an insect that we could have stopped.
The state produces 70% of the nation's fruits and vegetables. So Birdie isn't just fetching pesky problems in Yolo County. If a crop were decimated in California by a pest or disease, it would impact the world.
It's a miracle that these dogs can do it and do it as accurately as they do.
So you can thank this agriculture expert and her nosy nose for helping keep your food on the table.
Thanks so much for joining us for Eye on Agriculture. I'll see you here next week.